We are live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to The Real Raw, a place where we get to see and experience how influence is a superpower. The Real Raw offers us a chance to have a microphone, a stage, form ecosystems, make more money in less time with more magic, thanks to Sean Callaghy, the visionary officer here at Unblinded, who's been curating the formula for over 23 years. So welcome, Sean, and welcome, everyone.
Yes, Vivian, thank you so much. And that's really thank you to the incredible ecosystem, each of you amazing participants, the entire Unblinded team ecosystem overall. And Vivian, you are a rock star, always launching us. And yes, we have some awesome people. So let's dive right in with their awesomeness. Yes, Mario, Kristen, what's up with them? Vivian, let's go.
Mario Novogrodsky, actually born from Argentina and speaks it fluently. A national speaker, technology strategist, and founder and CEO at Mendelsohn Consultant. Mario is a CPA, CITP, and instructor of accounting technology topics, and he's a contributing author and speaker for several national organizations. He's also a leading figure on the national SMB financial software scene. A mover and a shaker, Mario was the first member of the Intuit Reseller Partner Program, and then was selected to serve on the Intuit Solution Provider Advisory Council for 3 consecutive terms, which is the longest ever tenure. So welcome, Mario.
That sounds like a lot of super cool stuff, Mario. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and how are you doing? How are you doing, Mario?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I heard another name. I'm sorry. Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me. Doing well. Good weekend. I'm already plowing through the majority of the day, even though there's a few other meetings after this. So
cool. And how about a fun fact, Mario?
Fun fact. Is it okay to reuse one from last time? Yes, I just made up. I said yes. It's okay, which is
like Vivian. Mario answers his own questions. It's all good.
Yes, I like it.
Yes, it is.
So Vivian already used part of the setup, which is yes, I was born in Argentina. That's a small piece of it, but that was very many years ago when I was 12, and last year I actually went back for the first time. To visit my country of birth after almost 39 years, 38 and change. So it was quite a nostalgic, not so much, there was a lot of adventure in there, but a lot of nostalgia as well. So,
yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you, Mario, and welcome. And yes, Vivian, we have an amazing participant to be running into the abyss and the adventure and the fun with Mario. And it was that.
Yes, we do. We have speaker, author, activist, and host Kristen Smedley. She's a TEDx speaker and the best-selling author of Thriving Blind, Stories of Real People Succeeding Without Sight. The foreword was written by Eric Weyenmeyer, the first blind man to climb all 7 summits. She is the co-founder and CEO of CRB1, Curing Retinal Blindness Foundation, and hosted the first worldwide summit for CRB1, which is a rare eye disease. In Pennsylvania, she worked alongside Congressman Mike Fitzpatrick to submit the first legislation in U.S. history to be submitted in Braille. Number 625, which advocates for better services, accessibility, and care for the blind and visually impaired Americans. And inspired by her COVID lockdown, she created and is now the host of her own online show and podcast, Brilliantly Resilient. Here, she helps others reset, rise, and reveal their brilliance. She's also one of 12 people in the world to be invited to testify at the FDA hearing for the first ever gene therapy to treat blindness, and the first clinical trials will start in 2023. So welcome, Kristen.
Thanks so much for having me. Can you read that maybe to my kids every single day so they know maybe I've accomplished some things?
That is awesome. And anytime you have the word activist in like the first sentence or 2 of your bio, that like lights me up. So like, how does it feel to be an activist?
It's incredible because I had planned my whole life to be an elementary school teacher, and I had to walk away because of some things that happened in my life that we'll talk about in a little while. But to be able to be teaching the world now about what true resilience, what true vision is unbelievable to me. I will say that it is, my life is a testament to miracles do happen.
That is awesome. Love you being here. And quick fun fact, besides the fact that your kids need to hear that bio every day.
Well, I talked about my championship dragon boat last time. So I will say this, I was part of a softball team that won my elementary school's first ever championship in the history of the school for any sport. So
that is Kristen, Mario,
very nice.
Welcome and amazing. And Vivian, there's some people that like do some judging on their performances today. What do we got?
Yes, we do. We have, well, let's see. That's interesting. Okay, we have Marianna Faradman, a senior real estate paralegal for over 20 years with experience in all diverse areas from acquisitions to financial restructuring to working at a number of major law firms in New York City. She's also an adjunct professor at Long Island U, Brooklyn campus, teaching ethics, business law, contracts, and real estate law. She's also an educational presenter conducting seminars at various universities, including Long Island U, Brooklyn campus, Paralegal Knowledge Institute, and Clear Law Institute, and was awarded the Distinguished Faculty Badge by Lorman Educational Services. She wrote for the Paralegal Society blog, the Paralegal Resource, and the National Paralegal Reporter. She's also Vice President, CLE Chairperson, and Mentor Program Chairperson at New York City Paralegal Association. So welcome, my dear Marianna.
Thank you.
Marianna, welcome. Holy cow, that's a whole lot of stuff going on there. So, seriously, you're clearly driven, and what's driving you?
Ground. I'm an immigrant, and when I came to the country, I was not a child. I was a grown-up person with a family, and I just didn't want to do cleaning jobs. I could not use my degree because I have a degree in engineering from Soviet Union, but I could not apply here. So I went to college and started from scratch. And then I met amazing people who helped me to become who am I today. And I just want to give back. This is why I'm a mentor and a speaker, because this is how I learn from them.
Wow. Marianna, that's truly inspirational. And standing to represent what can happen from somebody coming in and truly putting into practice mechanism to make things happen in this country. That's beautiful. And how about a fun fact, Marianna? What's a fun fact about you?
If it's a fun fact, I am a mother of 3 and grandmother of 5. And my baby is marrying on Sunday, coming Sunday.
Ooh.
So you have somebody getting married on Sunday, you said?
Yes, my youngest daughter is marrying on Sunday.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations. That is a very fun fact.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, we have weddings and we have activists and we have all kinds of things happening today, Vivian. But wait, there's more.
Oh my God, there's so much more. We have Rita Chopra in the house. She's the founder of LeadMyWayUS.org, a nonprofit organization helping victims and survivors of domestic abuse. She's the Amazon author of Mastering Life and conducts seminars and workshops based on her book. And she's an independent and award-winning documentarian that won the following awards: the International Independent Film Award, Outstanding Achievement Award, Best Short Film Award, and Gordon Fox Award. Woo! Welcome, Rita. Ritu.
Ritu, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
I am fantastic.
Amazing. And how about a fun fact?
Fun fact, I try to call myself, I'm a technologist by profession, and I like to call a technologist by profession and runaway filmmaker. In between, I wear many hats. I had played a ping pong game with life, so learned to bounce back in each time, and embraced every opportunity life gave me. And I have so many different parts of my personality, my persona, and it's nothing to do with multiple personality syndrome.
You do play ping pong with life, and Ritu is in the house. So yes, thank you, Ritu, Marianna, and Vivian.
So happy we don't have Sybil in the house. It would have been a little difficult to keep up with all the personalities. We have Donna Cookson in the house. She's the president of Dale Carnegie Training for Northern California. She oversees professional and personal development training for corporate clients in the areas of human relations, leadership, sales, and public speaking. Donna also has extensive skills in event planning, business development, strategic planning, and leadership, and spent many years in the restaurant industry, winning recognition for double-digit sales and growth year after year. So welcome, Donna.
Why, thank you. I feel like an underachiever after listening to everybody else's bio.
Oh, Donna, no, 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 no. That is extraordinary what you're doing. What was your draw? Congratulations on, running that in the space of the iconic, one of the iconic foundational pillars of personal development.
Yeah.
So what drew you into the space of influence and speaking and leadership? Because these are concepts that are resonating deeply with all the fine folks that are here.
Yes. Well, what Ritu said resonated with me because I too have spent my life doing a plethora of, things. And I adopted a quote that I heard like 30 years ago, and Abraham Lincoln said, "I will prepare myself and someday my chance will come."
Wow.
And, looking back, it was sort of like a patchwork quilt of things. I had different interests and pursued, one thing at a time. And at one point I looked back and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this, right? I've got skill set all over the place. And it really all converged into this a few years ago for me, because I really have a passion for helping, each person individually that I work with, and to provide them with skills and tools and help, I'm sure we all feel this way. You just want to help people achieve their goals and be the best version of themselves. So that was the drive. And then I had the opportunity to, add some business to it and build that out. So I'm really loving what I do.
Oh, that's awesome. And how about a fun fact, Donna?
I once told my brother I was going to show him how well I could ride a quad. And I hit the gas and hit a berm and broke my foot in 3 places.
Oh,
I didn't.
Well,
That's a fun
I
fact.
should have prepared something, but
that is extreme. No, that's an extreme fact. So Donna, how about this? We stand for the real raw, that influence is a superpower and that we unlock it and free it here. And what we mean by superpower is that we think that everything starts with an authentically generated, heart-centered hello to yes amongst people of mutual value exchange. And it seems like that's what your life and work stands for in many ways. So how do you feel about that statement that influence is a superpower?
I wholeheartedly agree. I think it's probably the number one superpower that a person can have. And one thing we talk to our clients about is that, we're not a training company where we partner with you, because leadership is a journey. And, with anything in life that we pursue, it's a journey, right? You can talk to somebody about leadership if they're 12 years old and going into junior high, and how they're going to work among their peers. And at any stage in life, we are always pursuing that, the excellence. And so that's what makes it a superpower, right? That it's always there, you're always using it, and you use it for the good of other people as well.
Absolutely. And the extraordinary difference maker that it is. So thank you so much. And certainly the work of the Carnegie World had a meaningful and substantial impact on my life. So thank you for that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So Vivian, we have Mr. John Knight. What's happening?
Yes,
What's
we
happening?
do. He's been in finance for just over 10 years with Affleck. He's married with 2 children, and his main goal is to be financially free to be able to give more to his family, community, and to charities. Welcome, John.
Thank
Well,
you.
John, it's a pleasure to have you on the big stage, brother, as the role player. And how are things?
Good. Really good.
Excellent. A fun fact for you?
I'm a car guy, so I like vehicles.
What's your favorite vehicle, John?
Between like a Lamborghini and a Rolls Royce.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right. So Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, speaking opportunities, broken feet, quads, all kinds of craziness happening today. And everybody, I will share, if that's okay, my fun fact. Vivian, I'll give you one guess of my fun fact, and it has to do with the ocean today.
You punched a shark.
No, that was 2 weeks ago. So today, no, thank you. So today, ready?
Yeah.
There is sea lice in the ocean because of the storm. I knew this, and I decided I had to go in anyway because the waves were great. And so, yes, and they were quite itchy, but they do come off in the shower quite easily. So, yes, I intentionally jumped into the ocean today knowing that there was sea lice in there. And that is my fun fact for today.
Yucky, yucky.
So
That's a gross fact, not a fun fact.
they're not like normal lice. Like they're not like lice in the real world. Like sea lice are just like little biting things but they do not have the impact of lice like in the real world. They should probably be called sea little biting things that are annoying and they come right off in the shower. So I knew it would be itchy for like 4 minutes from ocean to shower, but it was all good. Okay, so that's a fun fact for today. We are ready to drop in.
Wait,
Adam.
we got Adam.
Wanted to just jump in with my fun fact because with Donna being here, and it's not that I love pickleball, and it's changing for today. Donna, I did win impactful presentation pen for the first presentation at the Dale Carnegie in my previous organization. So I just wanted to drop that.
Adam Gazzino.
And as the Chief Revenue Officer of Unblinded, being so cool, who walked away from millions of dollars and a company he built from scratch in a small little warehouse for up to 500 in a team from zero, and then building it from $400 to $750 million to come here to proselytize the good cheer on this beautiful influence of the superpower formula here.
And all that is actually true. Like, it's funny because when you say stories, like, oh yeah, Adam built a company from like $4 million to 750 million, from like 0 to 500 employee. Like these can be like rhythmically said. Like, oh yeah, of course that's Adam. Like, dude, that's sick. Adam, how did it feel to do that? To build a company?
Let me tell you exactly how it felt, Donna. You're gonna appreciate this as well. I brought the organization to Dale Carnegie, and I was going through the process. And Sean, I never told you this. My last presentation, my final presentation to the Dale Carnegie Group, my story was, oh, by the way, I'm the senior vice president. I had a whole team there of employees. There was 3 other people there. By the way, I'm walking away from tens of millions of dollars to go start my own company with Sean Callaghy because I discovered a formula that can free exponential abundance in your money, time, and magic. So the first people to really hear about it was the audience at the Dale Carnegie for my final presentation to get my degree of passing. So
I did not. I did not know that. Presentation.
They were blown away. Yes, Donna.
So Warren Buffett says that it's not his college degree, it's not his master's degree certificate that hangs in his office. The only thing that hangs on his wall is his certificate of graduation from the Dale Carnegie course. So I'm going to put you on that list of testimonials, Adam.
Yes, it was wonderful, wonderful experience. And they were their jaws dropped, the whole group. And obviously the signed up with was concerned if our company was going to continue, the previous company, continue working with Dale Carnegie. But yeah, it was. But
awesome stuff. We're having a lot of fun today. Thank you for that, Adam, Donna. Yeah, like let's rock and roll. So, John, are you ready to go today?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna go. Mario, where are you physically in the world today?
I am in South Florida, right between Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
Awesome. Kristen, where are you?
I'm in Philly.
All right. So Mario's further away. So Mario, is it a 1, 2 under the table?
1.
It is a 2. So Kristen, you won the toss. Would you like to go first or second in the first round?
I'll go first.
Cool. And so do you know how the game works, right? That John can be anybody you want him to be. It judges, it's 2 3-minute conversations. The first round, the judges are assessing. It's all about hello to yes. The first round, how we're opening up listening. Like how are we opening listening, putting something at stake? What's the depth of connection? And how, simply said, is how congruently unique does each of these fine folks have John seen them as? So he's like seeing his future in them in round 1. And there'll be a pause. There's no need to set up the second 3-minute conversation because John's just going to jump off on a quick phone call. The second conversation, which we'll go into again in a little bit more detail in a few minutes, is all about how they then convey their heroic unique identity, what they're up to, how they solve for what's at stake, that pain point in round 1, and move on to yes. It doesn't need to be a sale. It doesn't need to be an absolute yes for some like larger relationship. It could be just a yes to create a longer meeting. It could be yes for a donation. It could be yes for a book deal. It could be yes to an ideal client. So that's up to Mario and Kristen, whoever they want John to be. So Kristen, who would you like John to be? No.
John, you are going to be Bradley Cooper.
Mm. All right. And any specific, is this a setup meeting, a bump into somewhere? What is this, Kristen?
This is a setup meeting to be involved with something.
Okay.
All right.
You know, Sean, you said the first half, you don't do the ask until the second half. Is that right? This is a little bit different than when I was on the first time.
Yes, that is correct. Because you have 2 rounds this time.
Okay.
On the Real Raw. So you're going to be, I mean, you could do anything you want, right? But the first half, what you're being assessed on is how deep you build rapport and how you put something at stake. The second round is where you're moving into conveying more about who you are, what you're up to, and moving on to a yes.
Okay.
Cool. All right. You'll hear an alarm go off with a minute to go, 30 seconds to go, and then at 3 minutes, and then we'll have a soft stop like right around there. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Take us in.
What's up, Bradley? Thank you so much for taking this call. I really appreciate your time.
Welcome.
So listen, first, I just have to address this because the whole world seems to know and realize that you're quite the Philadelphia Eagles fan, which I love and appreciate because I bleed green here in Philly, as do you. But I think the funny thing is that not many people know that you're such a diehard Phillies fan too.
Yes, I am.
That's so cool. And we're around the same age. So I'm guessing that you grew up going to our old stadium, that big old honking Vet, right? Vet Stadium?
Yeah, it's a shame it got knocked down. So I did actually get a couple seats out of there, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, I only ever got to go one time and we sat all the way up in that 700 level. It was so hot, my glasses kept melting on my face and I did not even care.
The nosebleeds almost, right?
I know. I was so happy to be at the game. And I also heard, well, actually I saw, and I'm interested to know about this from you, that you were at the NFC Championship game for the Eagles in the owner's box with the Phillies owner. Stop it.
Yeah. It was definitely.
What was that like?
It was the coolest experience, you know, growing up here and being a strong fan. It's so awesome to see them do well and to be able to get to that next level. So it definitely was a cool experience. So, and you being a fan too, it's a shame that you weren't able to make it, but it definitely was a cool experience.
Yeah, well, next time if you want to give me a shout, I'd be happy to clear my schedule in the box.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
No, that's cool. If we have a couple of minutes, I just want to share a quick baseball story with you, if that's all right.
Okay.
So I have 2 sons, right? And I have 4 brothers. My dad's a crazy Phillies fan and all that. So I have 2 sons, and I'm expecting I'm going to have a pitcher catcher situation going here, and we're going to go far. We're going to go all the way, to the Phillies franchise. And I find out when my boys were each 4 months old that they're blind from a very rare disease.
Wow.
You can imagine that my baseball dreams went crashing to the floor, right?
Sure.
So here's the good thing. It's actually a good story. So what I learned, though, was the best thing that ever happened to me was that my dreams for them crashed. My baseball dream of this whole pitcher catcher thing and dominating the infield and being at the World Series in the Phillies jerseys crashed because what I found out was my dreams would have actually held them back. I had this miraculous change in perception of blindness when they were little, which forced me to see that blindness wasn't the problem. It was my perception and my dreams on them that were getting in the way, right? So lucky for me, I was able to take my dreams off of them, had no idea what was possible for them, and realized in that miracle moment that my role was just to get them all the tools and resources they needed to go follow their own dreams. But here's the cool part. Those dreams of my boys included playing baseball. When they joined the Little League in our town and were the only blind kids to play on the sighted Little League teams. And let me tell you, they were both MVPs and they were both championship baseball winners.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
It was just wild. So here I am with this I'm watching this thing unfold with my oldest son who did it first. And I watch how we had to make just a couple little tweaks to the game where he played the outfield with somebody else and he had to hit off a tee, which was a whole interesting thing for a 9-year-old to have to go back to a tee. And little by little, not only did he change perceptions of blindness, but he showed my entire town what true resilience is when life hands you a curveball. And he literally was one of the MVPs voted by the kids, and he led the team in RBIs.
Wow, that's
That is amazing.
yeah.
So John, you had a quick phone call come in, and we're going to pick it up with that amazing story, Kristen, in a minute.
Okay.
Awesome. So, hey, Kristen, how'd that feel for you? I mean, that was that's the second time I've heard you share that incredible story.
Well, I don't know if you noticed the influence that you gave me to change that up a little bit from the last time I was on a call.
Well, I don't know if I noticed that as much as I noticed your heart and your amazingness, but yes, I did notice that too. And tremendous. John, how'd that feel? If you had one word to share how that connection with Kristen felt, what would that be?
It was fantastic. Just the sheer fact of her being able to communicate, how she was able to overcome all the challenges.
Yeah.
And challenging.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on to Mario. We'll come back to Kristen in a moment and then get to the judges actually first. Mario, so who would you like John to be, sir?
There we go. Unmute. So it's very hard to follow that, Kristen. It's going to be, that alone is going to be a challenge, but let's try, I guess. So John, I want you to be the CEO of Knight Enterprises. Okay, it's a medium-sized business, and you are looking for, you're about to hire a new CFO and a new financial department, but you're actually looking to switch ERP systems, operations, finance and operation systems.
Okay.
Remember, you're a wholesale distribution business, and you're looking for that. Good?
All right. Take us in, Mario.
Hello, John. Good afternoon. How are you today?
Good, sir. How are you?
Yeah, you have I understand I understand that your accountant, your CPA put us in contact because you're looking for assistance in moving to a new warehouse distribution and ERP system. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The one we have right now is been really costing us a lot of money, so we're looking to change what we're doing right now. It's been costing us like $1 million a month, so we're really looking for something a little bit better than what we have.
I can promise you that we're going to keep whatever we're going to do under 6 figures. So that alone is going to be a big improvement. But this is very good. We need to learn a little bit more before we talk about systems per se, because that's what your CPA put us in contact with. Is I need to know a little bit more about your business. Your products, your distributions. Who are your customers? And if I know it's a lot of questions, but what would you say is the biggest pain point that you are experiencing?
So with COVID, obviously, we've actually got more distribution because everybody's going online and everybody's had more chance to move more volume. So that's where our pain point's been, because the system that we're doing with right now cannot handle the volume. So we need something that's going to be more efficient because of our influx in our influx in
what would you say? Let me ask you something before you answer that completely.
Yeah.
Your customers, since I'm not all that familiar with your business, just a little bit your accountant told me. Is it mostly consumers, or is it mostly businesses, or you have a bit of both?
It's a mix of both.
Okay, so you have a B2B and a B2C channels. You have the two. Okay, that alone is a challenge. I got to tell you, because a lot of businesses tend to be more consumer based. It's a whole different world when you're dealing with businesses. So you are a distributor to other businesses who sell your product, and you also sell directly to your to consumers. Yeah,
and that's where we've had that influx in volume. So
I can imagine. Yeah, that happens a lot. A lot of our clients, you know, COVID has been both a down to a lot of businesses, you know, retail, restaurants, obviously leisure, travel, and an increase to a lot of wholesalers and a lot of, you know, consumers who are now buying products, you know, a different way. So we're quite familiar with that. As you see, the end goal here is to get you to be more efficient. Again, I keep repeating back to your CPA. Your CPA knows your financials. They help you at the end of the year, but they have your best interests at hand. And they know that, you know, we've worked with several of their clients to give them a more efficient, more robust, lesser cost system. And I think that's what we need to talk about. Now, I know you know time is valuable, both to be fair to both of our times. Should we set up something for a little bit later on and discuss more at length? You want to do that?
Hey, John,
I'd like a
yeah. I'm sorry, John.
yeah, I'd like a little bit more information before I actually set something up. I know my accountant had talked a little bit about it, but I'd like just maybe a little bit more information before I set.
Yeah, John, you just got to grab that phone call and you can bounce back and see what Mario has to share in those final 3 minutes.
Well, so let's do that. I know you got to jump to another call. We'll be, you know, we're going to talk just briefly, 1 second. We're going to talk about what your accountant mentioned to you, which is a QuickBooks-centric solution. It's very most, you know, well-known ERP system in the country today. So we'll talk about that at the next opportunity. Fair enough?
Yeah, it sounds fair.
Great.
John, how'd that section feel for you?
It felt pretty good. I thought that we maybe could have connected a little bit more in terms of what he was going to do for me. And just, I think I would just need just a little bit more information about what he was going to do for me.
Yeah. So. Roll into that in the second half. So judges, let's go from here. So on a scale of 1 to 10, the feedback's going to be about how deep was the connection, what was put meaningfully at stake, and it's about 40 seconds of feedback for each. So with 5 seconds to go, you'll hear the alarm, and I'll say 5 seconds after that, hey, and what do you have for a score? So when you hear the alarm, it's like 5 seconds to take us to a score on a scale of 1 to 10. And how about we start with Donna?
Am I going now?
Yeah. And you can go either one. So it'll be about 40 seconds per feedback for each, maybe 20 seconds of what worked, 20 seconds of what could have been optimized. And yeah, if you want to start that with Kristen, please fire away.
Okay, Kristen, I had a lot of notes. I felt that you had excellent, deep rapport. Almost from the get-go, you found a common interest. You were extremely congruent. Your body, your face, your enthusiasm, your hands, everything you said matched your actions. And we felt it too. So sometimes we tell people like, are you happy? Tell your face, right? So all parts of you knew how you felt. That was awesome. You really committed to just go there, go deep. And that was just, you hit it out of the park, to use a baseball term. You gave us that miracle moment. You engaged us emotionally. I believe that you really had every component of a really well-written Hollywood story. You really thought it through, and it's apparent that you've crafted this story, and that it's obviously, you know, it's heartfelt. You've lived it, and it says a lot about you that you took something that may have beat somebody else down and made them, and you know, really been painful, and you've turned it into such a beautiful cause, you know, and I'm excited to hear the rest of it. If I had to say something you could improve, maybe allow the other person to feedback a little more. So if you were talking to Bradley Cooper and you asked him, you know, hey, what about this? Maybe give him a chance. I realized this wasn't the forum for that. However, you know, maybe engage a little more so the rapport is back and forth and you're gauging by what they're saying, how well connected they really are. Because you know on your end, like anybody's going to be engaged, but what do they have to say? Because that'll lead you into other questions you could ask him to get to know him more. Okay.
And what you have for
and oh gosh, so I don't know how you normally do it here. I would give her like a 9.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you. Great.
It was excellent.
Thanks, Don.
And what'd you have for Mario?
Mario, so when he, and this is my first time judging, so what I heard was that we were talking about rapport. And I thought that you are obviously excellent at what you do, and you are technically sound. And I wanted to know more about you and what it is that makes you the expert. And one way in which I thought that you could increase the level of rapport that you built was to say, for instance, I'm so excited that your CPA, John, set this up between us. And you could have given an example of, yeah, you know, I met John at the baseball field, and, you know, throw out something, how do you know John? Right. So then you're taking it from that professional to a personal connection so that you can build more rapport. And then you're finding out little things about that person through their response. And the other thing that I would throw down a challenge for you is I heard you say, I don't know much about your business. So we want to make sure that we're taking a genuine interest in the other person. And maybe another way to say that would be, so tell me about your business. I'm really interested to hear, you know, what are your challenges? You know, what do you love about it? That, so you're eliciting the same answer, because really you're trying to get information to move the sale forward, but it's putting it in a different way.
Yeah. And what'd you have for a score, Donna?
And I had a 6.
Okay. Thank you, Donna. Marianna, what did you have for Kristen? Countdown 35 seconds.
So,
Marianna?
so first, this is my first time judging, and in my entire life. So it's really overwhelming, but from my personal perspective, from my personal opinion, Kristen, it was more personal. She spoke with John, with his role as a friend. She was trying to get connected with him on a personal level, so then she can build up rapport and ask him and get what she needs from him. It's more intuitive, I believe. It's probably more how women will approach people on this situation, and how she presented herself. I think that will open her doors.
Cool. So what'd you have for a score for Kristen?
I will give her 9.
Nice. And how about for Maria?
Maria,
5 seconds.
high level professional. He knew what he's talking about. He knew what he's trying to sell. He asked right questions, but just opposing to the Kristen, it was not very personal touch. It was more on a, like I say, professional technology level. How he handled even the interruptions with an upcoming telephone call. He had a great wrap up of his presentation to keep connected with John. But if he could bring more personal touch to that, I think it will benefit him.
And for what'd you have for a score?
I will give him 7.5 if I can.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Marianna. And for Ritu, what did you have for Kristen? Left on 35 seconds.
Was really heart-based with like starting your story. I couldn't tell what's coming, right? So the rapport building was excellent. Moving through going into the memory lane, going into the past common experiences, and just kind of getting him into the listening. You did a super excellent job. So, and I noticed, being trained what I'm trained for, I noticed that John is Bradley Cooper. I have no background in sports. I'm not a sports fan, so I can't tell a whole lot. So from the body language and the listening of it, so he was engaged in your story, which is excellent, right? He's engaged in your story. So he was into the conversation. So, and then your story takes a turn where you bring in the emotion, where you're sharing that your dream for your sons, and then finding out that your 4-month-old baby boys have blindness. So it's just kind of, you touched everyone at that part. So it wasn't a great switch. However, your dream versus reality and possibility, that you handled that very well. The two things here for a improvement that I would say, even though he was listening, you didn't give an opportunity for him to either acknowledge or give him some opening to give you some compliment or ask a question. So that was one. Two, at the end, either I did not hear it, or your ask didn't come out clear, what you were asking him to do here.
Right. And Ritu, just in fairness for Kristen, the second round is going to be the ask, so it's like halfway through. But what'd you have for a score?
Score 9.
Okay, awesome feedback. And for Mario, please.
Mario being selling or presenting a technology solution. So coming from a technology background, I worked with IT vendors all the time. So I could see exactly from an intelligence level what he has, what he's trying to get to. So his conversation started from connecting through CPA and all that. It's a typical vendor call, good starting. However, you started with a challenge question, it's a high cost solution. You asked him a question where the pain points are excellent. That part is good. Now, it became really, really very dry conversation with all good intentions that I'm saying, because you did not build any personal rapport. Because if you are a owner of your company and he's owner of his company, so you are at the same level playing field. So build some connection there.
Okay.
So,
what's your first score?
6.5.
All right. Thank you, judges, for round one. And we are ready to jump into round two. So Kristen, you won the toss, but elected to go first. That means you get the choice in the second round. Would you like to go first or second in the second round?
I'll let Mary go first this time.
All right. Mario, you ready to continue?
Sure.
Okay. So John, it's just John's back. Mario, it's like just John, say hello and take it from there.
Hello, Mario.
Hey, John. Good to get back with you. I know we touched on very, very, very high level where we want to go, where, with your needs and pain points in the first call. Wanted to talk about some specifics with you, if you could. I know that your growth of the business, especially on the B2C side, has posed a challenge. I can expect, I suspect, I don't like to assume, so I like to ask, someone ask, from experience with other clients who deal in very similar businesses as you. Some of the challenges have to do with inventory, fulfillment, back orders and such, even losses due to inventory. I usually like to quantify that. I'm not going to ask you to, I'm not going to put you in the spot and tell me how much, but there's just a financial piece that we need to resolve for in terms of where we're at.
Yeah, and that's been what I've been dealing with anyway. Like I said, we had a lot of growth during COVID with the B2B plus also consumer growth. So we've been having issues with trying to fulfill all those orders. So that's why we're looking at that new system.
Right. The system that you are with, you told me this earlier in one of our email communications. We're pretty familiar with what it is, and I can understand the inefficiencies. Not only high cost, but high costs. There has to be a total cost, return on investment, and it's just not going to be there with what you have. What we're going to propose, look, your CPA may or may not have told you. I'll tell you briefly. We work primarily with two ERP systems. QuickBooks is one, another one's called Microsoft Business Central. And that's not the end all of all. That's just the financial piece. The main thing that I want you to be concerned about is the operational piece of the software, which is the handling of inventory, distribution, EDI, supply chain, multiple locations. I found out that you have multiple locations, inventory locations, and you can have multiple locations inside of a warehouse as well, with a row, shelf, bin, barcode scanning, all of that. We want to implement that so we can reduce, not eliminate, you can't always eliminate, but at least reduce the inefficiencies, meaning costs, your lost money, the bleeding. It may or may not be one of our solutions that you end up with, okay? Typically what we do to ensure that you have the right choice, and at the end of the day, we're gonna choose it with you, okay? Is we are going to propose to do what we call an in-depth needs assessment. That means we come in, roll our sleeves, and spending from a day and a half to 2 days, sometimes even longer. Our longest ones usually last about a week, into your premises, and see your operations, and ask questions of all the doers there, from yourself to everyone in warehouse. So that way we'll be able to help you choose the right solution, be it QuickBooks centric with an inventory add-on or whatever it may be. We make sure that we have your best interest at hand, and that's what we're proposing to help resolve your situation right now. That's always resulted in a guaranteed correct recommendation.
That sounds good.
Awesome.
That sounds good.
Excellent, Mario. So Mario, real quick, if you had one sentence to say, what is the pain you're trying to solve for with John? What's the pain you're trying to solve for?
Inefficiencies.
Okay. So
let me be more specific. Financial costs due to inefficiencies.
Right. And what does eliminating financial costs due to inefficiencies? What emotional problem does that solve for?
Well, John can sleep at night again.
Yes.
Oh.
We'll come back to that. Excellent. Excellent. Kristen, you ready?
All right, there's the unmute button. You would think I would know where that is by now on Zoom. Jeez Louise.
Kristen, you have amazing and awesome energy. So take us in, please take us in. John's back.
Oh, hey, brother. Thanks so much for coming back.
Yeah, I see you got the Phillies shirt on.
Yes, I'm telling you, look, I am the forever optimist, maybe a delirious optimist in this house. I got my kids throwing stuff at the wall over this season so far. I don't know, but I think they're going to come through. And I don't know. What do you think? You think it's looking good?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's just not cardboard cutouts sitting in the stands this year.
I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be nice to go to a couple games. Yeah.
I'm wondering, we're from Philly. I know that you've got a story of your own of resilience that you've been public about with being sober now and how you brought your life back up in a reset. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, what do you think makes us here in Philly so resilient?
I think because we're a blue collar town. So usually we have to work for everything. So usually when you come from a town where you have to work really hard, usually that resonates with most people because you constantly have to push and push and push to be able to get where you're at. So that's one thing that I love about Philly is that, you can't leave a person from Philly down. So
I love it. I love it. And you know what? I grew up in a blue collar family here in Philly, and I guess that's what laid the foundation for me to be able to get up off that couch with the 2 blindness diagnosis and have that miracle moment of a change in perception, and then guide my guys to chase dreams. Like, could you imagine 2 of them on championship winning baseball teams? Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You tell so many stories with being an executive producer with films. And I actually wrote that baseball season, the one baseball season, because I watched everything unfold in terms of resilience and what youth sports really should be. I would assume that this story has the kinds of things that you look for in producing a film with this type of theme. Is that something to be true?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I try to look for stories that are inspirational. So this definitely would check those boxes in terms of inspiration. Um, I haven't really worked with that young kids though, so that would be my only drawback. Is I haven't worked with any young people yet.
So here's what I'm thinking. I would love for you to be one of our executive producers on this film and team up with us and some other organizations that I have involved in this, such as we have a commitment for full audio description of this film to make it fully accessible
to go.
to the blind community. And I have a few other groups that are already involved, and I would love for you to be a part of this team as a producer of it. What do you say?
I think that sounds good. I think it's something new. I'm always looking for new ways to grow, so I think this would be something good. So I'll have to put you in touch with my assistant to schedule time to do that.
Great. And I would love to do one more thing. I would love for you to jump on a Zoom call to meet my boys and talk with them about how they did baseball. And I'm going to say that I'm going to have to moderate and make sure you don't go down a rabbit hole of investigating the Phillies teams and the Eagles lineup, because my boys will do that to you. But I would love for you to meet them.
Awesome. So we're going to take a quick pause there. Kristen, how did that feel for you?
It felt, from everybody's feedback, I felt so much better just being able to be me and have that conversation and let John into it, as opposed to me pitching my whole dream here.
Yeah. Excellent work. I'm going to drop in real quick. So unlocking the superpower of influence and taking feedback from the judge in round one is about a structured dynamic of heart-centered connection. And Mario, you're amazing. I'm going to play you for a second with you as the business owner that you're seeking to communicate with. Sound fair, Mario?
Fair.
Okay, cool. So, Mario, thank you so much for taking this. And I'm you. So actually, let's call you John. So John, thank you, but it's Mario, you're being John.
Yeah.
So, hey, John, thank you so much for taking the meeting. And I know we just have a couple minutes, but I heard from your accountant that you're having some challenges here and there with some solutions related to your finances. Like, what's going on?
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, my accountant knows about that very well, and it has to do with some inefficiencies, losses, either lost sales that we're having because of the volume increase, and also because of inventory is just not correct. It's all over the place in our warehouse. So we for sure have at least two places that we need help with.
Okay. And how long ago did you start this business, John?
Business has been around for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I could ask this, why did you start it in the first place?
Started because I saw a need. I got an opportunity to become a distributor from a place where I was working before. Got an opportunity to fulfill a need. I saw the distribution piece was very much missing.
Yeah. So there was an opportunity, but what made you want to take the opportunity? So like, what's in this for you, and where's this dream, this company going for you?
The idea of growing something from the beginning is fulfilling in and of itself. Obviously, feed my family, obviously, and perhaps have something to leave the kids, or who knows, never thought about this before, but maybe even sell it one day. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And what would you do if you fed the kids and left something to kids or sold it? Like, what would that dream look like? Like, what do you do for fun? What do you want your life to stand for?
There's different interests that I would pursue, which I do on my own time as I can. And it's just something that I like to say is whatever the family wants to do at this point.
Yeah. And what do you guys like to do?
Travel.
Yeah. Where are some of your favorite places to go?
We travel, we travel a lot through the country, and just beginning the last 3 years, we started stepping out over water, and Europe and South America. Yeah.
Very, very cool. And how old are your children?
They are all grown up except for one, even though he thinks he's grown up. They're all over 30 except one who's 22, and
Very
that's
cool. Yeah. So the last like minute or so we have here, how do these financial leaks, like, right, these dynamics of disorder and the inventory and things, how does that impact your ability to function, be free, travel, do those things?
It's not an impact. Let's just say it doesn't impact me directly. It does put an extra level of responsibility to fix those leaks. So perhaps, perhaps we could be more efficient and selling more, and or just having less of those leaks is what it is. So it is taking somewhat of a toll on my time, and it's not my time, it's my team's time, which all rolls up to me anyway.
Got it. So this was a stress factor for you, the team, and something you want to get out of
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Is it okay if I just take a couple of seconds and share a little bit of myself to see if it makes sense to have a longer meeting?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
What I do, my name is Mario, and what I do is I solve these problems, John. Like, I solve these problems. What you're dealing with is ridiculous that you're dealing with it, right? This is simply the functioning of like a pipe being out in a plumbing system. And as easy as it is for a plumber to fix a pipe in your house to make the water come out, that's how easy this is for me, how assuredly I will fix these challenges. Now, it's a little more complex than finding one pipe and replacing it, but as assured as that plumber can do that, that's what I do for businesses all day, every day, because my mission in life is to solve financial leaks for people so they have the money they deserve, not leaking out, not sales not happening, and to use technology to do it. And this is the passion and mission of my life. So if that would make some sense, I'd love to set up a longer meeting to have a conversation about how we do this. How do you feel about that, Mario?
It does make sense. I wanna talk. I wanna find out how you can do this for us, and what it's going to cost us, both in time and in money.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could give you this assurance that it will never cost more money or time than is exponentially worth it, meaning you will get a multiple return on your investment of time and money, clearly, for any solution I propose.
Great. Okay.
Right. So Mario, check in. Is that did I represent who you are?
You did well. Yeah. In our business, we typically don't get. We do establish the report like you did. Yes. We don't get to the personal, the kids and the travel and so on until later on, let's just say, generally because the clients want to get to what can you do for us? Fix it. Remember, we deal with a lot smaller business than bigger. And it just happens to be that in small business, there's a little bit more desperation, we find out.
Yes.
And yeah.
Can I share something from my heart to yours? Right.
Of course.
So, and everybody, know we're going over a minute, but this is relevant for everybody to get. And so if anybody has to drop, I appreciate everybody being here, but I want to truly deliver this. So, because we're here to unlock influence at the highest level. So, as you know, I think, right, I'm one of only 2 attorneys in the country to have 2 top 100 national jury verdicts, right, between 2014 and 16. And I was the only, out of 1.2 million attorneys, and I was the only one who was blind. And in the largest jury verdict in the state of Arizona in the last decade plus, which is ours, $27 million verdict, the judge in that case said that there is no emotion in his courtroom. And he is one of the most intelligent, hardworking, phenomenal judges in this country. And the only thing I would disagree with him about is that every decision is fundamentally emotional. It is never logical. And that principles of influence say, right, that we do business with people we like or whom are like we would like to be, right? And so in this case, we go through a month of the most, his words, the most contentious litigation, this is on the record, that he's ever encountered, okay? And no emotion in his courtroom. You had to stand by the podium. You couldn't wander around. And that's in his court rules. Now, on the last day, when the jury verdict came back, after I am clear that everybody in that courtroom understood who was lying and who was telling the truth, because I put that at stake from minute one, day one, in a case that was over tens of millions of dollars, right? In a business case. But over what it was really about was right and wrong and lying and truth. And on the last day, his approach was that the foreperson will read the verdict. So he got it, he reviewed it, right? And then he was going to hand it back to the foreperson to read. And he got it, and he looked up, he looked at the adversaries, right? He looked back at us, and I couldn't see this. This is what my team was telling me, right?
Yeah.
And he said, you know, I think I'm going to read this one. And he started reading. And he was looking at them and looking back and looking at them and looking back. And I had tears pouring down my face as he read it. And it found them liable. It found that their conduct was evil-minded and malicious and all kinds of things, right? It was the truth. And the reason I believe, I am incredibly confident that he read it, and that was his body language, was because lo and behold, he was completely emotionally engaged. Not biased, but he felt that justice was done and it mattered. It mattered to him. And that's an emotion. And he read it. And my story is he read it to tell them, yeah, you got everything you deserved because you lied in my courtroom for a month. And here you go. Right? So my point is that, and I have 1,000 stories like this, is that those people, and we'll hear what the judges have to say, I believe, Mario, with respect and love, they want what Oprah said is why she held the microphone for 30,000 people. Because she said that she told them, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters to me. And as urgently as they want the problem solved, they want to know that they have somebody they can believe in and trust and connect with. And then they want to hire that person to solve their problem. So that's my reality. We'll drop in judges. If we could stick to 30 seconds of feedback for each, 15 seconds or so will work. What are the challenges? I know we're running long, but let's go back and start with Donna.
Okay. Mario, you are great for a technical audience, and I think you connect on that level when that's what they're looking for. You acknowledge their pain points. I heard you speaking about the why behind the purchase. Something I think that would really benefit you is to, well, two things. Take charge. Let them know that you're managing this meeting just like you're going to manage the project. So I'm in control. You're going to have time to talk, but here's what we're doing. Here's what we're talking about. The other thing is put it in order of here's what I'm going to do for you, right? So we're going to do your needs assessment. You mentioned that last, but that should be first. Like here's as we've had these conversations, this is what I understand is going on with your company. Is that correct? Have I heard you correctly, right? So you're getting their feedback. And then this is what it would look like to work with us. We would come in, we would do a needs assessment. We would make sure we understand your business. We gather all the information and then not necessarily, here's what I'm going to do for you, but hey, I had another client with a similar pain point. Here's what I did for them and here's the results they had, right? Because anybody can come in and say, here's what I'm going to do. Tell me what you've done, right? That's just a historical fact.
What did you have for a score then for Mario?
I had an 8.
Excellent.
Okay. And then for Kristen, immediately you jumped in and it was clear that you took everybody's feedback, right? You said a little something, then you asked for him to engage. And you set it up beautifully because your first thought out the gate was, I'm wondering, which led him, now all the triggers are going off. He knows he's got to listen in order to respond because you want something from him. So that was really, really great. I like that you were sort of like sprinkling your brand awareness because we keep hearing miracle moment. I know that's a piece of this somewhere. I know it's going to come back. One thing I would suggest is I thought that, you were like I don't know the term, batting 1,000 or 500, whatever, all the way through. I thought your close could be a lot stronger, because listen, if I'm Bradley Cooper, I know that everybody wants to work with me. So what you were saying was, I want to work with you. I'd love to work with you. Let's just assume he knows that. So perhaps the conversation is what we're looking to partner with, the person we're looking to partner with would look like this, so that he's putting that together maybe, and he's going, yeah, that's me, right? So that he's partnering, he's making the choice along the way, and you're leading him into that choice. Yeah. And I gave her a 9.
Excellent. Thank you. And Donna, how was your experience today on the Real Raw?
This was fun. I loved it. I just really appreciate both of you. I thought you came from completely different worlds, and you both did an excellent job. I'd be happy to do business with either one of you.
Oh, thanks.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Donna. And Marianna, what'd you have for Mario and for Kristen?
Sorry, I am just unmute myself. I think in the second round, Mario came slightly more personal, but still on executive level. He has his technical points. He was still sharp and knowledgeable of what he was asking for and what he was presenting. I would say that when you play swipe roles with him, and he became John, he opened up. He was able to show more of his human face, if I can put it here. I would advise him to, when he is calling and speaking with other side, to show more human face. Be professional and knowledgeable, it's great, but people want to see and hear that we're talking with blood and flesh, with a human being. At least I'm that way.
And what did you have for a score? Excellent, Marianne.
I would give him 8 now.
And what did you have for Kristen?
She continued to have a great rapport. He was able to get John to open up to his background and talking about his feelings, and the way how she dropped information about and her knowledge, she got him listening. And at the end, when she offered him position, she underlined his strength and what his ability will, how he will be able to grow with her offer. It got him in. He was ready to accept her offer.
Excellent. And a score?
I would keep 9.
Very nice. And how, Marianna, was your experience on the Real Raw today?
It's a lot of fun. Like I said, my first time judging any competition, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you for being here. And Ritu, what did you have for Mario? Countdown 30 seconds. Is Ritu muted or no?
Yeah. Yes, unmuted now. Mario, you have a lot of technical knowledge. You know your product and you know your audience. However, we are looking into, as Sean's feedback, I was listening to some personal touch. I agree with Mario on this, that most technical vendor meetings that I lead with, they are very dry and there are teams involved. However, in this scenario, you're speaking C-suite to C-suite level. So you're one-on-one. Take that opportunity to build that personal connection. Like Marianna said, when Sean became Mario and Mario became John, you opened up. We're all human beings at the end. Building a little bit connection is good. In most team meetings, that opportunity doesn't exist, I agree. So you're, one thing that I noticed, you working at the C-suite level, from you being founder and CEO and John being CEO, leave a lot of technical details, the product details out, go into more how this solves your pain point.
Yes.
Because
And
that's your team.
what'd you have for a score?
7.5.
And for Kristen, excellent, Ritu.
Kristen, wow. I think you continue that great momentum of rapport building. I think you mastered that very skillfully. You have kept him engaged. And one thing that touched me, everything that you were saying, even though you were using common experiences and what touched me was that you were looking at bigger purpose. You were looking at the society, the community. It didn't sound like that you had personal agenda in there. So that, I think, from John's perspective, when I see that he said yes to meeting with your boys and to explore more, I think that was like quite a big win. I wouldn't say small win. I would say it was quite a win right there. Because as other feedbacks came, so many people want to work with Bradley Cooper. So for him to say yes to explore, this is a good win for you. So altogether, well done. Score 9.
Nice.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ritu. And how was today for you, Ritu?
For me, excellent. I think I am becoming official tattoo.
Awesome job. John, thank you so much for being the role player today, brother, and what you're up to in the world. How was today for you?
Really good. It's a different perspective because I did with Kristen and what Mario did, so it's definitely a different perspective.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And Kristen, how was today for you?
It was, it was fantastic. And this is not something that is my strong suit. It is very much out of my comfort zone. And I know I have to fix certain things with that close. And as I'm coming on these, I get new information every time and want to keep improving. So I am so grateful to all of you for taking this time. And Sean, how you demonstrate how it's done well. And then I can keep working towards that. It really, really is benefiting my life and my kids' lives. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. So how about this? Who is somebody that you love very much in the world?
That I do?
Yeah.
My kids, the most.
Would you like me to close your kids?
Yeah.
You would like me to close your kids? So if I put this down, I'm like, yeah, I just closed Kristen's son.
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
So what I'm giving access to is one of the reasons, so this is out of my comfort zone. I don't think it is at all. I think that what's out of your comfort zone is what you think sales might be. Because your heart, your message, your truth, your energy is infectious, right? And all you need to do is form an agreement with people, small agreements, and there's no closing. You're not getting somebody. You're not making somebody do anything. You're not pitching somebody. You're not hooking somebody. All we're doing is revealing and unblinding people to truth. That's it. Do that all day, every day. And it's fully within your comfort zone because you get people to say yes to lots of things all the time in life, Kristen, don't you?
Yeah, I guess it's this, maybe it's the format, maybe it's, I don't know, or I'm trying to be so perfect at it that I just got to relax.
But in anything, right? In everything in life, it's the same hello to yes everywhere. In our leadership, in our love, in our business, when money is involved, when they're a celebrity, when they're famous, it's all the same. It's just heart-centered connecting, hello to yes. No need to close anything. It's agreement formation. You're just making an agreement with people. Hey, this is the small ask is, hey, would you look at this? Right? And you're dealing with their fears and their objections and their dynamics. And it's just heart-centered to heart-centered connection, and you're phenomenal at it already. Great job.
Oh, well, thanks.
Great job. And Mario, final, how was today for you, sir?
Super. Thank you again for inviting me. And more important than that, congratulations, Kristen. Great job.
Oh, great job to you.
Yeah, very, very good. Very, I'm not a judge here. At least my role is not a judge today, but I would say you are, a fantastic way of connecting on a personal, emotional level. Super good. Yeah, very good.
Oh, thanks, Mario.
I'll say to the group, I'm not going to use the term in comfort zone or not, because I used to, past tense, used to do this all day long, every day in my business, the selling, and that's what we got it to be what it is today. I do not do sales for my business anymore for the last probably 10 years. In fact, so I have a sales team. In fact, just today, this morning, 8:30 a.m., we hired a new salesperson. So I was, most of my day has been involved in onboarding him and on different meetings and calls with that. So, so it's a little bit out of norm, not out of comfort zone, because I like this. It's just not something that maybe I noticed rust, you might say, and people say that, when dealing with customers. One of the things I teach my team all the time is something that you said, Donna, that I should do, which is show that we're in control, we're in command, always, in every one of our meetings, sales, pre-sales, post-sales, during implementation, during consulting, we're in charge. Customer may want to take over, we have to show our force, and we are the ones in charge. But again, I'm not the one dealing with that every day today. I deal with it in my internal team. So that's a little bit of, I'm bringing everyone into our kitchen, so to speak.
Marianna, let's acknowledge this, that very few people, congratulations, because very few people in the world ever get to a place where they even have a sales team. Mm. So congratulations to you that you built such a successful company that you scaled. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Okay, everybody, it's Mastering Monday. This has been an amazing group of people. Adam Gugino, thank you, brother. Vivian, beautiful stuff. And everybody, we are just influencers, influencing influencers to merge ecosystems, to make the world a greater place. And we just did a little bit of that today. So have a beautiful day. Thanks.